three big injury concerns ahead of next week.
Geordie Journos here at St Andrews, or what's it called, Jordan?
St Andrews at Knightshead Park, which where they got the ad from I'm not sure. Has it always been that way?
No, you're a commercial man, you. I think it's sponsorship reasons.
It is.
Yeah, where we've witnessed an FA Cup 4th round thriller.
It was a thriller.
Great atmosphere, electric as Eddie Howe put it, and I agree with him. Fair play to the Birmingham fans. We're in the away end where the Newcastle fans were sat or stood today in Birmingham and witnessed a great game. 3-2 winners for Newcastle, job done. It wasn't easy for most parts, but we saw some good goals. Joe Willock back scoring, Callum Wilson back scoring, and Newcastle continue their sort of nice habit they're getting into in these cup competitions of just getting through even when things don't always go according to plan.
Yeah, I said on the way here in the car that this felt like a real banana skin. I felt like Newcastle, don't know why, but I felt like they might have won out tonight just because of, we knew there's going to be changes, and then previous games against lower league opposition when they made changes, Bromley, Wimbledon, them being convincing. I just thought coming here today, their fans are going to be right up for it, the home team going to be right up for it, and they were. But to be fair to Newcastle, they found a way through. Look, it wasn't pretty, but they came through, and that's all that matters. And yeah, that there was a couple of standout performances. Will Osula is the one for me. Yeah, I think Willock gets the man of the match award, I think, for his 2 goals, but
almost by default,
by default, because Willock had a lot of the ball today, and it didn't always go for him in the final third. Actually, he was really heavy involved, but sometimes lacked a little bit of quality. But scored 2 goals. But I think as sort of a constant threat, I'll say a constant threat in the first half, albeit he missed from a yard out, which is, I don't know how he's managed to do that. But take that away from him, because in the build-up that goal he was outstanding, and that was the move for me. That summed up his performance today. Pace, power, determination, whipping the shot at goal, the saved effort. Obviously the ball comes back in the box, misses from a yard out, but Callum Wilson's in the right place, right time. Yeah. Even in the first goal as well, he had a big say in that. I think he actually got the assist for the first goal as well. 2 assists, one he would have wanted, one he wouldn't have wanted. But we thought he's an out-and-out striker, but
he's a menace. He's put his best performance in as a right winger, and then when he moved into the central striker role, he was less effective just naturally because there was less space for him.
He kept running the striker role. I think he never stopped running today, but on that right hand side he was a real bright spark. And what was probably a difficult first half, I think 2s each at half time, it was a fair reflection of the game. Birmingham causing Newcastle's defence lots of problems, particularly in the open stages anyway. A couple of balls over the top that Dan Burn missed, but no, they found a way for him. Will Osula for me was a standout. I think when Newcastle have got a lack of attacking options, and will come on injuries where it potentially weakens them even further, Will Osula is a player that, and Eddie Howe himself has a lot of things to learn. Got to get his games up to speed a lot, but actually shows he can do a job on the right hand side. Premier League's a different ball game. But there's a lot of attributes there, and a lot what I've seen to think actually you could probably give him a run on that right hand side coming off the bench, and he'll run for you and he'll show you that grit and determination, and I really like it. Look, you can only judge it by the opposition. But I thought he really, really impressed today.
I'm smiling because there's almost a consistent theme going through our videos. When Will Osula starts games, you absolutely love it. You go back to pre-season.
I know.
The game against, who was it?
Stade
Brest, yes. Where he got a disallowed goal, and then I think was it Wimbledon and Chelsea, the games he came on and played, and then Bromley as well. Always waxing lyrical about Will, but I thought that was his best performance today in the Newcastle shirt. And what was encouraging from Eddie Howe, I say encouraging, you could maybe take it both ways because it might signal a lack of options as well, was he said Will Osula is getting very close to starting games or playing more regularly.
You can see the improvements he's made though. Like he looks physically stronger as well, I think.
He's always a big physical presence and really quick as well, but I think technically there's improvements being made as well.
But he's still a young lad as well. I think probably he's played a lot more senior football than what people would think he has. Played quite a few games for Sheffield United last season, but that's in a really difficult, a poor Sheffield United team, and he's came here and I think Eddie Howe and his coach staff have invested a lot of time in him, and I think look, again, he's only impressed against League One opposition, but I think you can see he's got real attributes that you can see that if he can actually bring those attributes into a Premier League game, then he actually is a half decent player.
Yeah.
So I really liked his performance there. If he would be my man of the match, but I think Joe Willock probably gets it, as I say, by default. But a big night for him as well, Joe Willock, because
it's been a tough season for him, which he recognised in his post-match interview, and obviously there was a whole racism abuse last week, and it was a difficult time for him. Eddie Howe said he's responded brilliantly behind the scenes on the training ground, the way he reacted, and then has reacted on the pitch tonight with his best performance in a long time in terms of just how much he was involved in it. Possibly goes to show Newcastle's two best performances tonight, who started the game at least, were players playing not necessarily in their natural position. Joe Willock, you play as a probably left-sided central midfielder. He plays on the left wing tonight in Anthony Gordon's absence. That's a new injury concern, which we'll get onto the injuries a bit more in a minute. And then Will Osula playing on the right, moves into the middle once Callum Wilson comes off. But Callum Wilson again, back in the team, back amongst the goals. Good to see from him. But one player I do want to get onto was someone who I thought changed the game in Newcastle's favour. Because the first half, like you say, very to and fro in, very even. I mean, Birmingham scored an incredible strike where you just had to go. Fair play.
Yeah, it was.
And I mean, the opening goal, after 45 seconds or whatever it was, only the second corner Newcastle have conceded this season. Second goal from a corner, it wasn't direct, but yeah, after dealing so well with Arsenal, who are the set-piece kings.
Stoke City.
Yes, the glorified Stoke City that is Arsenal. Then to concede after 45 seconds against a League One side in Birmingham is particularly disappointing. But yeah, Newcastle got back into it. Then that incredible goal from Itawa.
Tom, you know this is my weak point.
Okay. you watch the game, you know the goal I'm talking about. Top corner, Nick Pope had no chance, brilliant strike. That sort of got Birmingham really back into the game, and then I still haven't made my initial point, which was the player who changed the game. Came on at half-time, all pre-planned. Bruno goes off, who I thought was reasonably ineffective by his standards.
Yeah, moments.
He was okay. Sandro Tonali comes on and just calms things down. Just gets Newcastle 10 yards further up the pitch, and Birmingham were then playing the long balls over the top on the counter, and they still caused Newcastle problems. They had a penalty shout, they came close, but Sandro Tonali I thought came on and just changed the game in Newcastle's favour, and they never really looked back from there. In that spell Newcastle had 10-15 minutes before the goal where they were really pushing ahead and pushing Birmingham, putting them under pressure, and Jacob Murphy I think made a difference in that regard as well, playing on the right wing with his pace. He should have put it in the net though, shouldn't he?
I was that running through your mind as well when you went around the goalkeeper?
I think I tweeted it. I went, just put it in
just
the net.
Just yeah, I'm glad you were thinking that as well, because we weren't sat next to each other in the press box today. We were quite far apart actually, which was really sad.
It's a shame, isn't it?
But I'm glad you were thinking that as well. But yeah, you should just put it in the net.
Yeah. He tried to be clever, it ends up getting cleared off the line. But fair play, I thought he made a difference. Sandro Tonali, of course, shout out to him because he made the difference. He rose the standards and took Newcastle to what was his subpar performance into looking like a Premier League team in the second half.
He showed his class, whereas, and this isn't a criticism of Bruno, but Bruno didn't grab the game the way you'd expect him to for a player of his quality, whereas Sandro Tonali
And what I will say is, I thought Lewis Miley and Sean Longstaff had a difficult first half. I know we sort of disagree on Sean Longstaff's performance, but I thought they came into the game a lot more once Sandro Tonali was on the pitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Tino Livramento as well.
I thought Lewis Miley was more out of the game than in, but I thought he finished the game really strong.
Yeah.
Lewis Miley, you're right, that's probably down to Sandro Tonali, and yeah, we have disagreed a little bit about Sean Longstaff, and I looked on social media after the game and I've seen a lot of criticism of Sean Longstaff. I didn't think he was that bad tonight. He's played a role in two of the goals by putting the defence split and pass through to Livramento. Obviously the shots then blocked by the goalkeeper, and then Callum Wilson eventually follows in. And then it's an assist for the Joe Willock goal as well, where he made that run to the box. So I thought the criticism, I've seen a lot of bad criticism, I thought it was harsh. And I didn't think he was the worst performer.
I think Sean Longstaff is often a scapegoat, but I think in terms of his assists, I think Joe Willock did a lot of the hard work.
Sean Longstaff he started and finished the move.
Yeah, still has to find him and fair play, and he did play a good pass for the earlier goal as well. It's just there's still key moments. It's more to a fan sitting at home watching the telly and you see Sean Longstaff, basics. It's the basics of the ball's at your feet. Get rid of it. It's dawdling. It's down there. He has the ball inside his own penalty area. Just hoof it clear. It's like really simple. Doesn't, and then nearly concedes a penalty, and is probably slightly fortunate not to concede a penalty. And I think to a fan with just locked vision on what is Sean Longstaff doing there, there's a lot of moments where he does open himself up to criticism in that way. But
it almost just feels like fans are looking to get on his back.
I'm just saying Sean Longstaff didn't help himself tonight.
But I just think from what I see on social media, it just feels like there's a want to really play on him.
There is. And
I don't like that.
I don't think it's fair.
I think he's a player that thrives off confidence, and he's one of the few players that probably actually reads everything that goes on social media.
Yeah.
And I just think in a game that Newcastle, okay, it wasn't pretty at times, the game that came away and won, there's no need to be slaughtering players because they got the job done.
Yeah.
That's my point.
No, that's a good point, Jordan. I think that the past week, when you look at it's completely different, but the Joe Willock situation, social media abuse and things like that, and he's come back, responded brilliantly. Like, there's a time and place for it all. And yeah, Sean Longstaff, I don't think he was immune to criticism tonight. I think it wasn't a great performance from him. But yeah, Newcastle are through. Let's look at the positives.
Was it so that the big turning point in the game was the equaliser? Was it over the line?
No, I don't think it was at all.
Yeah, it didn't look over the line.
Joe Willock has a knack though for contentious, is it over the line or is it not over the line moments, as he did against Arsenal, keeping the ball in play last season, and inconclusive that it was out of play. I'd say it was inconclusive that it was over the line. In fact, I'd say it looked like it wasn't over the line. But the linesman, who definitely wasn't in line with the goal line. Well, very quick with his flag.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, it caused a bit of confusion.
A brave call by the linesman.
Very brave. But
also maybe incorrect.
You take it.
No, that was a big turning point. I was so confused because as much as VR wasn't involved, it's like automatically think, well, goal line technology, the referees watch, but of course the St Andrews does not have goal line technology, so I was really confused. I think obviously the fans
Newcastle fans probably
they seen Joe Willock
30 seconds.
Yeah, it was because they seen Joe Willock wheeling off, and there was a couple of players that followed him, and it was like, oh, we've scored.
There's a goal.
Yeah, it was a strange moment, that, but a big turning point. And then I mean, talking about that goal, actually, what a ball by Callum Wilson.
Yes. Who I thought played well.
He did
in his 55 minutes on the pitch.
Yeah, when he came off on 55 minutes, I'd seen a few people wonder if that was an injury. He's not one of the injuries. But
there are injuries.
But there are injuries. Should we go on that now, or?
Yeah, I think so. Naturally.
If
you're talking about Callum Wilson sub, he came off at the same time as Dan Burn. And Dan Burn, when he left the pitch, looked in some discomfort. Looked like he was feeling his groin. And then Eddie Howe says after the game, big concern with Dan Burn.
Yeah, he said he doesn't usually come off. He was actually reluctant to start him tonight.
Considering a big shift from him on Wednesday as well.
Basically, he's probably put him in because I've got nobody else at left side centre half.
You sell Lloyd Kelly, you lose a left-sided centre back, Sven Botman. You lose a left-sided centre back, Dan Burn. You couldn't write it, or could you write it?
No,
Newcastle United.
It's like typical luck, isn't it? Where Lloyd Kelly hasn't got a sniff for the full season, and Newcastle play 2 games a week, and all of a sudden you potentially have a left side centre half for Man City. Because the update Eddie Howe gave, he was asked, we don't know how serious Dan Burn's injury is, and he said he admitted there was concern because he doesn't usually come off. Sven Botman, he said he didn't know if he was going to be back for next week either.
Anthony Gordon's a concern as well.
I was Anthony Gordon, who missed the game today because of a
thigh quad. Quad is what Eddie Howe said. Thigh
said was the wording before the game was that it was minor.
Yeah.
And when Eddie Howe was asked about that, he said, yeah, we hope so, but because he wasn't here tonight and we take the cup seriously, it tells you there's a problem. So three big injury concerns ahead of next week, because you're down to the bare bones at your centre halves, because who are you left with? Emil Kraft and Fabian Schär. Is there anyone else?
Emil Kraft's more or less out of position, really. I mean, he's versatile, but he's a right back, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's... we've done a full video on the fact that Newcastle hadn't strengthened, and it's a risk, and this is a risk we're talking about in terms of just
Eddie Howe said,
Eddie
Howe said, and we've said, there's plenty of options defensively, so they're all right. They've got.
But then they come within a week. It's it's just a typical situation. I think you'd hope out of 3 of those players there'd be at least one back.
Sven Botman was understood not to be serious. Dan Burn, there's uncertainty
We don't know
there.
about him.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see. But hopefully, because naturally, I think Eddie Howe was facing a selection dilemma with Sven Botman and Dan Burn, because Dan Burn has been so solid and so consistent in the side. I actually thought he was one of Newcastle's weaker performers tonight. Maybe the injury had something to do with that. But naturally now, if Sven Botman can get back fully fit quicker than Dan Burn, then it's his place to get back in the side, and then that's naturally Newcastle's strongest left-sided centre-back, Sven Botman. So
yeah, because he'd found I wonder if he had I mean, he would have rested players, but having both those players fit as well also gives you an option to go with a 5 at the back, which obviously worked out against Arsenal. So it's just like dwindling options and dwindling formations maybe as well.
Yeah, everything now is with the backdrop of in 5 weeks' time, or less than 5 weeks' time. No, 5 weeks' time.
Don't go there, Tom.
There's a cup final.
No.
There is. That's what everything, every little niggle, every little injury is going to be. Well,
yeah.
Will they be back? Will they be firing in time for the cup final? And it's an important run of games coming up in the Premier League as well. I mean, Man City, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool. 3 big games. And then
it's a
next
really
round of the
one.
FA Cup.
Who will it be? Draw's Monday, isn't it? But
yes, Monday night. On the One Show.
It's just trying to get people to watch the One Show.
It is like.
I've watched the One Show a couple of times.
Only for the cup draw.
Only for the cup draw. No one else watched it. Anyway, we're rambling about that. No, I'd like to think that hopefully the injury situation isn't too serious, but based on Eddie Howe's responses, there's clearly a concern there.
He looked a little bit dejected when asked about the injury situation, because the Dan Burn thing didn't look particularly good, because Dan Burn, like you say, rarely goes off, and that's a position where all of a sudden Newcastle are quite weak. And even Fabian Schär comes on, and I mean Fabian Schär he's always in the walls, Fabian Schär, isn't he? But within 5 minutes of coming on, he's down holding his back.
He's been smashed from the advertising
into the boards, yeah. So that's another one. Will Osula went off. I mean, Alexander Isak, 30 seconds, 10 out of 10 display from Isak.
It dilutes his goal scoring run as well.
That's what I said. I went, Isak won't be happy with that.
No. But I think Will Osula, I'm speculating here, and I'll try and see clarity on this, but I do wonder if it's potentially the concussion, or because it would
seem... He took a whack, yeah.
I mean, hopefully it's just a whack, but concussion protocols now it's like, I'm sure it's about 10 days at some levels.
Yeah, it can be, yeah. If it is indeed a concussion, but it's more
we don't know that, I'm not sure, I don't know that, but I do.
You can make a concussion substitution for a suspected concussion. It doesn't have to be then and there diagnosed.
They still had loads of subs left in this.
But they avoided extra time, which was important, particularly after Wednesday night.
Couldn't it? Would still be. I think that's it. Well, no, it would have been finished now. Actually,
probably speaking to Eddie Howe.
No, he didn't want to go to penalties tonight. Extra time. Eddie Howe said that himself, because that would have been not just for our journey back as well, but for a squad that had just lost the centre half injury and had 2 players also missing from injury, and then potentially risking further knocks by going to extra time. Because to be fair to Birmingham, they give them a proper game.
Yeah.
Where
physically as well.
I think they were stunned early on. Where actually in many ways, I think the goal early on might have actually kicked them into gear, because they've been quite lackadaisical against lower league opposition. Where you came here, the atmosphere, there's fire bursting out, whatever I don't know. You've got the fire coming out when the players are coming out. You've got a live show.
I'm not sure about that, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
It was just noise to me.
It was.
Birmingham fans, you might have appreciated. If there's any in the comments, let me know what all that was about. Because for me, I just thought it was noise for about 10 minutes, and it didn't get me pumped.
They were just trying to build up an atmosphere. I don't think it was no shock pre-Southampton.
It was probably that equivalent.
It was just
I thought the Birmingham fans
were really good.
Were really good and made a good atmosphere. It was not to do with that though.
No, absolutely. But they were trying to make an occasion of it, and it worked. They made a flying start. They could have actually been 2-0 up, but Nick pulled off a really, really good save.
Did, yeah.
But I think that really pushed Newcastle into gear. Where it's actually, we need to work hard today to actually get a result here. And I think Newcastle deserve credit for coming away from here not having a cup upset, because, as I say, I think that could have easily happened today, because they're a good side. They're a big club for this League One level. They've got good fans. But Newcastle managed to get through, and that's all that matters. It wasn't pretty. Happy days, and hopefully there's good news on the injury front.
Yes, hopefully, and we'll be discussing that next Friday when we're speaking to Eddie Howe. But before that, we'll have a couple of words from our lovely sponsors. We've got 3 of them in the description below. Here they are. Comply IT Limited. Worrying about disposing of your old IT equipment? Don't be. Comply IT handle everything. Secure collection, detailed tracking, and certified data destruction. That's Comply IT Limited. We've also got Mitigate. Mitigate enhances workplace mental health, helping businesses stay compliant, reduce absences, and unlock higher productivity, creating healthier, happier teams. And of course, our OG sponsors, 4 Rivers Financial Planning. 4 Rivers Financial Planning offer holistic financial advice for all stages of life, ensuring your plan remains robust and adaptable in the ever-changing world we live in. So yeah, those are sponsors. Check them out in the description. You can also check out the Geordie Journal shop as well if you want a nice t-shirt.
Sam wore that hoodie yet, but I will get round
one day. Carabao Cup final, I think.
Could do, yeah, could do.
But if you like what we do, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell for all your latest Geordie Journals content. And yeah, let's get out of here, because, I mean, we were saying in the car, I don't know what Troy Deeney's talking about, being from Birmingham and criticising Newcastle, because, yeah, this is an interesting place to say the least.
There was Birmingham fans, I think, over there talking about singing about Newcastle fans going back to the hole, and for me that. I don't want to get. No.
I'm not
words,
against.
It's cheeky, because
it's hypocritical at the very least.
Yeah.
And it's it's just wrong, actually, because Newcastle's a great place, and I'll defend it till the day I die. And I don't know, maybe we're seeing the wrong parts of Birmingham, but yeah, interesting.
You give it a try, we'll give it back. Even though Troy Deeney will never watch this video.
Troy, if you're watching.
I've told you, Troy.
In a very sort of backhanded, like, yeah. He was there the other night, we should have told him.
We should have, like.
But, oh well. So yeah, we'll be back, myself and Jordan, at Eddie Howe's press conference. You get this one?
Yes, I'm here.
Good.
I'm ready.
Ready and raring.
To get me mic back on.
Yes. And we'll be there on Friday at the Newcastle United Media Centre, looking ahead to Man City. So we'll see you there.